Welcome to Hey Assbutt.
Welcome to Hey Assbutt.
Welcome to Hey Assbutt.
Welcome to Hey Assbutt.
We're just going to say welcome to Hey Assbutt.
It's going to be 2 hours of
2
us saying
hours.
welcome to Hey Assbutt.
Yeah.
Welcome to Hey Assbutt.
Oh, that shark has pretty teeth, babe. And also, welcome to Hey Assbutt.
Wow.
I got off rhythm there.
Yeah.
I thought that was
Way
going to
to
be a
go.
jumping the shark joke.
You're jumping the shark joke.
Yeah.
It's too early for us to jump the shark.
Yeah.
Unless we just jump the shark from the beginning.
How else would you jump the shark? That's a joke. Well, that's a bad joke. It's early. Fuck you.
Yeah.
It's not that early.
You can't even jump sharks.
It's
'cause
almost
they're in
1
the water.
p.m., Ben.
Oh, god damn it. Oh,
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we got sharks to jump and asses to butt.
Yeah.
We got to butt those asses.
Let's do
Got to
it.
butt them out.
Yeah.
So how's y'all's week's been going?
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Yeah, it's been all right. It's been very tiring.
What have you done so far, Trev?
Work.
He's worked all the time.
Yeah.
That's all he does now.
I've worked 52 hours in this last week.
Damn.
And I'm probably going to work about another 45, 50 this week.
He's forgotten how to love.
Yeah. I mean, that was...
He never knew how to love.
Yeah,
but
that got taken from me when I got my cybernetic implants.
yes.
It's because you deleted that.
But yeah,
Yeah.
I would too. I'll be honest.
I deleted all unnecessary
File.
files.
Delete.
You got to make room.
Yep.
And then he went over to the trash can symbol, right click, empty trash.
Empty trash. Yeah, that's very important.
It is, because I'm just taking up space on your computer.
Exactly. Yeah.
There's actually like a whole nother thing about how that actually works, but we're not going to get into that.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised that you know how that works, Trev.
We'll do cyber maintenance as an intersticial.
Yeah.
Put it on the board.
Put it on,
Put
the,
it on
board.
the board. We
The
can't
Show
board-
me
board.
cybernetic maintenance.
The board says, I've got to poop,
Yeah.
which is a new hit single. It's going to be coming out.
Cool.
I've got to poop. You've got to poop. We've got to poop. It's a song for children.
I'm gonna use that sample and make it a song now. Do you
Yeah.
realize? Do you
Oh,
realize
make
what
it
you've
like
done?
a what is those like tech versions of like remixes and stuff, like
Yeah.
internet remixes, like you know how they made a remix of the Hide Your Kids, Hide Your Wife guy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, auto
It's-
tune and shit. Yeah.
It's not gonna be like that because I'm not good at making that kind of music.
It's gonna be swing. It's gonna be
But,
a swing
yeah.
remix.
It'll
All right,
be
fair enough.
cool.
Yeah, it's gonna be rad.
Fair enough.
Is there anything else you've been doing, Travis, other than work?
No.
And being a cyborg?
Literally, that's all I've been doing this week.
Yeah. Work in cybernetics.
Yeah.
All right.
No, actually, that's not true. I did a show. Hurricane Harvey and Hurricane Irma hit recently with syncing up with the recording of this podcast. The recording of this episode it hit a week or two ago. And there was these comedians coming through town, Maggie Mayfield and Charlie Hester. They were coming through the Southeast, and they said, hey, why not do a tour where every city we stop in, we ask people to bring in donations for Hurricane Harvey relief, because their end goal was to be in Austin or Houston or one of those South Texas cities.
Yeah.
And they were asking specifically for donations for like feminine hygiene products and diapers and baby wipes and stuff that I honestly feel like gets pushed to the wayside a
Yeah.
lot
That's
when
actually-
people think about donations.
That's actually like a huge problem with like homeless women,
Yeah,
because they don't have a steady access to like pads and tampons and stuff.
exactly. And so that's when we in our little comedian group, someone was like, hey, they're looking for comics to be on the show in Huntsville. And I was like, I'm in for that, because
Yeah.
I'm all about that. I'm all about helping my Texas family.
Damn right.
So
Helping people get pads.
yeah. So that was a fun show. It was really cool. It was at Salty Nut Brewery, which is an awesome place. It's a really fun and cool time, and everyone did really good. So it was exciting. I'm jazzed about comedy.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Great. Cool. Yes. Good.
Yeah.
Ben,
Yes.
what have you been doing?
A little bit of work.
A little bit of play.
A little bit of play. A whole lot of play. I've been fucking around on a new phone with a lot of emulators and things like that. So I've been playing a lot of older games. It's been fun.
Nice.
Then me and you had a fun night the other night. We'll get to that later.
Yeah.
Another question.
By fun night, he means we
Jenga?
watched a movie.
Yeah. That. I don't know. I've been figuring out what else to do and things like that. Been all right. So yeah, it's been a little bit boring, but it's been a good time. I'll be
Yeah,
honest.
that's
Yeah.
good.
Boring is good sometimes.
Yeah, you need the downs to appreciate the ups.
Yeah. You need the broccoli to like the chocolate.
Yeah.
I like both of those things.
I know, I do too.
Uh,
We've talked about this before, actually. Broccoli and chocolate.
Yeah. You have to have the green beans to appreciate the cheesecake.
I just thought of green bean cheesecake, and that is gross.
All right, okay. Wild tangent appears. All right, this is gonna sound. I don't know
Get
how.
out your rat-a-tat, Travis, and kill it.
What?
The wild tangent that appeared.
Yeah.
Yeah. I live for that deep, beleaguered sigh.
It's so much fun.
And now that you guys have headphones, you can like actually hear it.
I know, and it's so satisfying. It's like a massage.
great.
It's like a massage.
I could use a massage.
It's like a deep tissue. But yeah.
Somebody going in on those shoulders like they're mad at them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like I'm angry at your back, and I gotta pummel it. I gotta knead it down to the ground. Ugh.
Knead it down into a flatbread.
Yeah.
But yeah, speaking of cheesecake, one time my sister made a salmon and bacon cheesecake.
That.
That actually sounds like that might be good.
Yeah, that
It
sounds
was-
pretty interesting.
It was amazing. We ate it with lox and bagels.
Oh, of
Ooh.
course.
Well, yeah,
Ah,
typical.
It was amazing.
Oh yeah, because you make cheesecake with cream cheese,
Right.
And salmon and lox and cream cheese. It all goes together.
I can
Yeah.
see it. I can definitely see like a savory cheesecake that's delicious.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it was so fun.
And I mean, salmon is one of those foods that's just like a good smoked salmon. Yeah.
See, I bet you've been eating a lot of salmon.
I mean, I've been known to partake of the fish.
Yeah, in Skyrim.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Ari's
Sure.
character doesn't eat food.
No.
Really?
Strictly
I
health
eat
potions.
food sometimes. I mostly eat health potions.
Well, you can get health back from food.
Yeah, I know.
But it takes up a whole fucking lot of space, though.
Yeah, that's part of that roleplay element. I try to roleplay mostly food instead of
Yeah, I'm
health
not.
potions.
Part of the roleplay element is me getting health potions from people. For me,
By killing them.
yes, or just stealing them from people.
There you go.
I met in Skyrim. Another tangent. We can talk about what I've been doing in my week.
Yeah, which has been playing Skyrim.
Which has been playing Skyrim and looking for jobs and
Looking for jobs in Skyrim.
yeah. I had a fight with my friend and I was super proud of myself. I felt like Neville Longbottom in the Sorcerer's Stone.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes it's hard to stand up to your friends.
Mm-hmm.
So I met this guy in Skyrim who's like a huge dick and he's super racist and terrible.
Yeah.
And just like really mean to everybody. So I went into his house and I stole everything.
Nice.
I was like, I don't even need this, but I'm taking it. I'm taking everything. And yeah, that's all going to be repopulated. It's not really going to affect him because he's a fake video game character, not a real person. But I felt good. I felt real good.
I believe that.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's things I like to do in games to make me feel better, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like killing a whole lot of things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because that's how I get my frustrations out.
You got to get your frustrations out, man.
Damn right.
You got to get your feelings taken care of.
Hell, fighting games, Bloodborne, dude. It's kind of like therapy, only you can drink and do it at the same time.
Yeah.
You can drink and do therapy at the same time.
That's
You mean a cool therapist.
if you meet a cool therapist.
Cool
yeah.
therapists let you be an alcoholic. That's not true.
That would
We're not therapists.
imagine if House.
Ben
got-
has found his ultimate therapist.
Yeah, he got really
Yeah.
excited.
Imagine
a little
if-
too excited.
If like House was House, but he also went to therapy,
Oh God.
and they just drank and kind of did therapy at the same time, and like shit like that.
I mean, I'm a little too honest when I'm drunk
See,
sometimes.
I think that would have been a better arc than the fucking the.
You're talking to two people who have not really watched House.
Oh,
I've seen like up to season 5 of House.
I've seen a lot of House.
I've seen I've seen House more times than I've seen Supernatural.
Wow.
That's a lot of times.
Yeah.
I guess now we have to switch the podcast to House.
Yeah. All right. Welcome to Housecast.
Welcome to Housecast.
But no, I kind of was house for a few years in high school.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
You piece of shit.
Yeah, I was an asshole and had a drug addiction. So
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I had also used a cane for a while too. That was fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Well, moving away from that deeply personal topic. Your house, I respect that. Who were you in high school, Travis? Like, if you had to compare yourself to one fictional character.
I?
Yeah. Who are you?
Anthony Michael Hall in Breakfast Club.
Wow, mean.
No.
Mean.
That character got cool when he got opened up. He just seemed really like reserved and everything. But once
Okay, is it bad that I just imagined like the psycho character, the basket case character from House, just like splitting Anthony Michael Hall from end to end with a knife?
Damn.
He got opened up. Boom. Literally.
Sorry. How would you describe yourself in high school?
In fictional character form.
You know how there's like Harry Potter, and then there's Ron and Hermione, and then there's like Lee Jordan and Seamus Finnegan. I'm like Seamus Finnegan.
Oh, okay.
Because I don't really matter at all.
Oh, no, you matter. Seamus Finnegan matters to somebody.
Yeah, I guess so.
He matters to Dean Thomas.
Yeah.
And his mom.
Yeah.
Mam's a witch.
Mam's a witch. God damn it.
Seamus,
Dad's a muggle.
Seamus
Quite a
was
bit of a
fun
shock for
character,
him when he
though.
found out.
Yeah.
Harry Potter never really leaves.
Seamus Finnegan was one of those characters you knew shit was about to get fun and hilarious whenever he showed up, though.
No, I mean, I was just kind of I was a floater. I floated around. I didn't really do a lot of stuff.
In your story, because everyone is the protagonist of their life.
Yeah.
What protagonist would you compare yourself to?
Travis was not the protagonist in his own life.
I'm not. I'm really not.
Oh, Travis.
Maybe you're like the
This is
like
so sad.
the omnipotent or omniscient
I'm
narrator.
Omnipotent.
Yeah, that one.
No,
that word.
I'm more like the sidekick. I'm basically everyone's house Carl.
Oh my god.
I just give
Travis.
everyone advice and I hold their stuff. And then I say a color text every time we walk into a new place.
Travis. That is not true. All right? You have a lot of personality.
Yeah, well.
For example, you
See, you can't think of any either.
are
Yeah.
annoying.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. That's a joke. I only say that because when I ask you for things, you never hand me the right thing. I could be bleeding to death, and I could be like, hey, Travis, hand me some gauze, please. And you would be like, cool, here's some tweezers. And I'd be like, ugh! Travis, I am dying. Hey, Travis, would you put pressure on my wound, please? Because I am literally bleeding to death. And you'd be like, cool, chair on your face. And I'd be like, no, not chair on my face, not again. Never chair on the face.
I feel like chair on the face is like the worst sex move.
The face.
Chair on the face.
I mean, it depends on what
God.
you're into, buddy.
Yeah.
No, not that kind of chair.
Don't king shame people.
Hey, I'm not kink shaming. I'm just saying.
Gotta kink shame the fucking birds.
I'm saying a literal chair on the face. I'm not saying my face isn't a chair.
I mean, we all know what your face is.
It's a face.
And a chair.
Yeah.
Chair.
And a chair. Chair in the face is different.
Yeah.
A chair in the face implies that the chair is being thrown at your face.
I'm imagining like video game glitches where stuff combines.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just a chair in somebody's face just hanging out.
Oh, that's some sort of eldritch monster right there. Chair in the face. Destroyer of worlds.
Yeah. It's like the Oklahoma experiment. I think that was that H.P. Lovecraft story. It's the boat that teleported, but when it showed back up, like the sailors were all like stuck in the walls and shit.
Yes.
Yeah. I think that's what that was.
All right. So,
Yeah.
on that weird note.
Yeah.
It's always gonna get weird when you bring up that HP.
Yeah.
I was
pretty
going to
much.
say it always gets weird when you put a chair in somebody's face. But
Hey. Especially not at a bar.
yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well.
You got a bar, chair in the face, perfectly acceptable. Not bar? When somebody's bleeding to death on the ground, Travis?
Sometimes you
Unacceptable.
sometimes you eat the bar, and sometimes you get a chair in the face.
Sometimes.
I do my best.
Sometimes you're the bartender, and sometimes you're a guy with a chair in his face.
Oh.
Guys, we are dumb.
Yes.
All right, so I'm just gonna hop. I don't know.
Let's hop off this train and on to another one.
Yeah. So we're gonna hop into the question.
Yeah, let's do it.
The full question is: what are you reading? What are you watching? What are you playing? Who wants to go first? We'll start with reading, and I guess we'll do reading and go around, watching, go around.
Okay, that's cool.
Something I've been reading is I picked it back up because I've just been running out of stuff to do in all of my things that I do. But I've been reading The Inexplicables by Sherry Priest, and it is a series. It's a series of hers called like The Clockwork Century or something like that. It's an alternate history kind of steampunky book. It's very cool. She writes a lot of like neat stuff. There's like zombies, and like zombies get overplayed a lot, but these are like
Interesting zombies?
they're kind of interesting because they're zombies that are created by this like gas that came out of the earth. And like nobody knows where the gas came from, but it only happened like the gas started coming up after this dude like drilled under a bank with a giant drill that was meant to like break through permafrost in Alaska, and he like stole everything from this bank and then bailed, and then this gas started coming up, and it basically like infected the entire city of Seattle. And so now everyone lives on like the outskirts of Seattle, and they built this giant wall. And but so The Inexplicables is about a character that shows up in the first book, which is called Bone Shaker. And he's just kind of a side character in that one. But this one, he's an orphan in the first book, and then he's in The Inexplicables, he's turned 18, and he's having like visions of his friend who is the daughter of the main character in the first book, Zeke Wilkes. He's having like visions of his friend who's dead or something, and he's like being haunted by his friend, and he has to basically go figure himself out because he's 18, he's been released into the world out of an orphanage, and he just needs to figure it out.
That's cool.
It's cool. And like the other books always have something to do with like a giant piece of technology. Like Bone Shaker was a giant drill. There's Dreadnought, which was a armored train used in like the South during the Civil War. That's cool. That's part of the alternate history, is that the Civil War lasts for like 50 years longer than it actually did. And she actually bumps it up to it lasts so long that it's colliding with the Alaskan Gold Rush.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that's where it kind of connects. And then there's also Ganymede, which is a submarine, I think. It's a lot of really cool stuff, and it takes place in different parts of the United States. There's Seattle, New Orleans, Virginia. It's really neat. If you like alternate history stuff, I definitely suggest checking it out.
So I have a question about the nature of steampunk, because these are steampunky books.
Yeah.
Is steampunk a genre, or is it a type of aesthetic?
Steampunk is a genre based on the aesthetic.
So, like, I could write an alternative history book and have it be sci-fi set in the 1800s.
Oh, yeah.
But it wouldn't be steampunk. I can make it not steampunk.
Yeah, I mean, like, I feel like the steampunk aesthetic and the steampunk genre, like I mentioned, it usually has to do with something technological.
Right.
And usually it's more advanced than what should be going on.
Because steampunk...
Because it's a lot of people cite the very first steampunk book as being 10,000 Leagues Under the Sea by Jules Verne.
Right.
And because it was about this submarine that could travel anywhere it wanted to under the sea. And that was like a thing that hadn't been invented yet or whatever.
So, okay, so I always think of steampunk and cyberpunk kind of together.
Yeah,
and cyberpunk is about humanity through technology losing its self-identity.
Right.
And becoming, like, a lot of cyberpunk works deal with, like, what is a man? And, like, also a lack of, like, privacy. Because we're all connected through the internet. So, like, you know, we're literally, like, our bodies are connected to the internet in a lot of cyberpunk work. So how can we even have any privacy? How can we be an individual?
And a lot of steampunk does deal with dystopia. Like I said, with this series, the Civil War has been going on for way too long.
Yeah.
And even the characters are like, this will never end.
Yeah.
This country will always be like this. And yeah, there's that kind of dystopian thing going on, and there's the zombies and things like that. And I don't know. Steampunk, I feel like, is more about the aesthetic than anything else.
Than maybe cyberpunk is.
Yeah, and like with steampunk, as long as you mention like gas masks and blimps and trains or something, you can always pull it off as steampunk.
Steampunk, because I feel like steampunk's themes typically deal with like what humanity has wrought now that it has technology it shouldn't have.
Yeah, I guess so.
But I don't read a lot. I read way more cyberpunk than steampunk.
That is kind of a thing with the first book, Bone Shaker. Like,
Yeah.
the zombies happened because this dude invented this giant drill.
Yeah.
And then he did the thing, and so that was, and it's not a spoiler for the book. That's like that's the first sentence of the book.
Right.
is this incident happened.
All right.
But yeah, it is kind of like a lot of these things are happening because of the technology around them.
Well, those are like the most interesting stories because it's very much going into fields. Oh damn, that hurt.
Steven.
Sharp claws. What was the thing? Well, new technology like brings forward like new horizons that we don't really consider, and so like just because you have the power doesn't mean you should do things.
Right.
Like a sci-fi that comes to my mind, like speaking on the subject, is Event Horizon.
Right.
Yeah.
Like a story about a spaceship that can create a wormhole by harnessing the power of a black hole. Mm-hmm. And it's supposed to like just make travel instantaneous rather than taking forever.
Right.
And so,
Well, a lot of sci-fi plays on the fear of like, what will humanity bring now that we are not, now that we have stood up from the mud huts and are sort of looking towards the future and standing on the shoulders of giants.
Yeah.
What disaster will humanity bring? And I think that plays a lot into like nuclear fallout fears.
Mm-hmm.
I would really like speaking on like shit like that, like Fallout, like bringing our own destruction upon ourselves.
Yeah.
I would really love like not 2012 or any bullshit like that, but like what we're kind of facing right now with climate change.
Yeah.
With how crazy this hurricane season has been so far.
Well, we kind of see it with like Pacific Rim.
Yeah.
Like Pacific Rim has a thorough line about the environment,
right?
Where like the kaiju are talked about in terms of hurricanes, and the reason why they're there, the reason why this rift opened where they can travel out, is because of climate change.
Yeah. Okay.
So there's definitely like we do see that. But I'm talking about steampunk specifically because you're talking about sci-fi as a whole, and then we were talking about cyberpunk and its specific themes that it deals with.
Yeah.
But steampunk to me is so
It's very vague.
dependent on its aesthetic in a way that like cyberpunk's dependent on its aesthetic, right?
Yeah.
Where you might not you might look at something that is in the cyberpunk genre but doesn't look like cyberpunk, so you don't recognize it as that.
Right.
But can steampunk be divorced from its aesthetic is the question I'm asking, which is the blimps and the gas masks and the bronze everything and the goggles that are useless.
Would you say BioShock is steampunk?
Yeah, I'd
Yeah.
say it's a little steampunk.
BioShock Infinite is definitely steampunk.
Yeah.
Infinite, yes.
BioShock Infinite was created with that very much steampunk in mind because steampunk was really starting to blow up when it got announced. And not that it hasn't always been like had its followers, but it really like blew up in the 2010s, the
So
early
much
2010s.
so that I know more people who hate steampunk than I do people who like it.
Exactly.
Which I think is kind of dumb. You shouldn't hate a genre just because it's popular.
It depends on, well, if you actually know enough about it to have an opinion on it.
But yeah, like I have seen a lot of things that are classified as steampunk, and it's specifically because of the aesthetic. Like there's some Star Wars fan films out there with steampunk Boba Fett, and it could very easily be just a Boba Fett story, but they gave it the steampunk aesthetic.
So now it's steampunk.
So now it's the steampunk Star Wars universe, and it's steampunk Boba Fett.
Even though, like, yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Even though, like, there's no reason for Boba Fett to be steampunk. It just looks cool.
Exactly. Yeah, it's just a cool thing.
I think that's the point of like, punkiness in those regards of cyber or steam.
Yeah.
Is that it's supposed to look cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and part of the aesthetic is like, what if this modern technology existed back then and it had to run on Steam? What would it look like? It would look like a crazy mess.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you. I'm gonna check out that book series, Travis.
Yeah, I have all of them.
Really good.
I have all of them on my bookshelf, so you can just take them.
Nice. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, don't take them, but use them. Read them.
Take them, and they're mine now. Putting them on my bookshelf.
No.
Doing it. Ben, what have you been reading?
I've been reading. Been spending a lot of time in doctor's offices. Nothing like crazy. I'm losing my health insurance at the end of the month, so I'm getting.
Get your health in now.
Yeah.
The doctor sprint.
Oh, happy birthday!
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, no. So I've been reading a lot of things on my phone. One of those things is, I really love the Aliens franchise, and I really enjoy the comics by them.
Which is very cyberpunk.
Exactly. And I've been reading Dead Orbit by. I'm not sure how to pronounce his last name, but I've been reading it through the Dark Horse Comics app. I just want to talk about that for a second because I always thought reading comics on a phone would be weird, but it's really super easy and like it's just dumb how cool and easy it is because I just tap on the right side of the screen and it zooms in on the panels in the order you're supposed to read them in and shit. It's so like easy and cool and shit. But yeah, it's Aliens Dead Orbit by James Stokoe. Stokoe. Or
Stokoe.
Stokoe.
Stocko?
I don't know.
Stocko boy.
But essentially, this crew finds this space station, and it just looks like just combined together, like the remnants of like 6 or 7 other like spaceships and stations, just amalgamated into one. And they find this small crew of like 3 people. Barely clinging on in cryo sleep, and they try to wake him up, and they fuck up, and instead of like freezing, the people like kind of burn alive.
Oh no!
And their skin just melts off and stuff.
Oh.
And they don't have like, and they can't talk or anything, and like the doctor's trying to keep him alive, and he's just like freaking the fuck out.
Wow.
And so, like the captain is just like bugging the doctor and shit. Eventually, like in true alien form, they start seizing. They don't know why they're seizing. They've got like a shit ton of sedatives and stuff in their system. They keep them asleep. And then, like, chest bursters happen.
Yeah.
And they freak out, like, oh god, what the fuck? And that's pretty much the first comic. And that's the one.
Is it because they started trying to heat the humans up that it like incubated the chest bursters and they burst out?
Well, that's like that's the thing with aliens. It kind of depends on the series that you're in sometimes. Yeah. But for the most part, it's when they wake up and come out of cryo sleep is when the alien comes out.
Ah, okay.
Because because everything in the cryo chamber, I believe, is asleep. So,
right.
But there is in like Alien 4, I think, with the daughter.
I didn't know that there was more than 2 Alien movies.
Oh yeah, Alien, Aliens, Alien 3, Alien Resurrection, Covenant, technically Prometheus at this point. Because,
right. Yeah.
And honestly, I kind of like the tie-ins and everything, but there's a lot to the Aliens universe, and some of it's some of it's pretty good.
Yeah.
But yeah, but that's the first comic, and that's how far I am into it so far.
Cool.
But
cool.
It's, I got it cheap through there. But it looks cool. I really like how the artwork and how it looks and everything, because I like how Dark Horse comics look, because they always look like more. I don't want to say gory or crazy, but there's usually some crazy effects that they do with the gore, and it always looks cool.
They have some great illustrators.
Yeah, they do.
They got some good people working for them.
Yeah.
Rock on.
Yeah. What have you been reading, Ari?
No.
So I've actually been reading a couple of different things.
Nice.
As is my purview. I'm the type of person who's like, I'm reading 6 books at a time.
Yeah, I could never. I have to do like one thing at a time. And I'm a very slow reader. It takes me forever to get through anything.
I'm the opposite of you, Travis.
Yeah.
I could read multiple books at a time, and I'm a very fast reader. So right now I'm actually rereading the Dark Tower series. So I'm reading The Gunslinger right now. Super great, just as good as I remember. Wonderful, love it. I'm also rereading another Stephen King collection, which I did actually for the last episode's podcast, which is Everything's Eventual, which is a short story.
It's really good.
Really good short story collection. And then, since Travis and I are watching Yu Hakusho, I have been going back through some old fan fiction that I've read.
Yeah.
And I've been reading some Yu Hakusho fan fiction.
Hell yeah.
Including this one that's really spectacular, called the Best Defense series by
Best offense, right?
Best Defense.
Best defense.
And then the
sorry.
second one is called A Good Offense.
Okay. Oh shit, that's clever.
Yeah.
I dig it.
And it's by Joe Abishmayoga. I'll put it in the show notes.
Okay.
Yeah, that fucking holds up, which is rare for fan fiction.
Yeah.
I kind of want to talk about the power of fan fiction real quick.
Should we write down everything we mentioned?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, we're going to put all these books and like links to where you can buy them in the show notes.
Cool.
If you're interested. But basically it's about like it's a Yu Hakusho Harry Potter crossover, and where the Yu Hakusho guys have to go over and pretend to be students and also hide the fact that they're not human, or some of them have to hide the fact that they're not human, and Voldemort's rearing his ugly head, and it's just super great. It's super well written. The characters are all very in character, which again I'm not a person who's going to shit on fan fiction and just be like, oh, all fan fiction writers are bad writers, because that's just patently false.
Well, like, how else are people going to get their start? Like,
exactly. Yes. Like, so many fan fiction, like, so many writers who are, like, super popular fantasy writers today got started writing fan fiction.
Well, yeah, like, I think fan fiction is the open mic comedy of writing.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, fucking shit. If you're a fan of Steven Universe, Rebecca Sugar got started writing King of the Hill, fan comics.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this is kind of a tangent, but the guy who made Sonic Mania, the new hit Sonic game that's out on everything, he got his start making like little fan games.
Yeah.
So just because
Rick and Morty got its start as a Doc and Morty, which is basically just fucking that right there, just Back to the Future fan fiction. All right, that's all it is.
Have you seen the initial pilot of Rick and Morty?
No.
Don't watch it.
All right, I won't.
Because Doc and Morty.
Yeah.
Doc and Marty. Sorry, get shipped, and it's weird. I just figured out how to do this, and yeah.
Uncomfortable.
Yeah, that's why I did this voice for it. Don't watch it.
All right, I
please
won't.
don't.
I'm not
All
gonna
of you
watch it.
listening to this right now, please
I won't watch it.
It's funny in a super fucked up way, but you will not be able to look at yourself for a while.
All right, fair enough. I already can't look at myself, but that's for different reasons.
Yeah, so I guess warnings for that.
Yeah.
We won't put that in the show notes.
Now, I will say this. She never finished the series, but she did put synopsises of it online. And she's writing her own shit. And now that I have money, I would love to go see her original works.
Ooh.
But yeah, Best Defense and A Good Offense. Still super entertaining to read. I would still recommend them. I'm still going to put it in the show notes.
I would really love to see Genkai and McGonagall work together on shit.
Oh my God. That would be amazing.
Right?
Yeah.
Dude.
That's a match made in heaven right there.
And what the character you watch somebody kick after you watched it?
Oh,
you watched
that unrelated.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
So Ben and I went to go see it, which was great.
But we were going to cover this in another part of the thingy, but fuck it.
Let's talk about it now.
Yes.
We went to go see it. It was great, but also,
where would you
boy.
on the classic 1 to 10 scale? Where would you put it?
I would give it a 7.
Really?
6 or 7.
Okay.
Not the most amazing movie I've ever seen. Admittedly, was watching most of it through my fingers because I'm a scaredy cat.
Oh man, it was fun to watch it because I was like, I'm gonna end up watching this by myself.
Yeah.
Because I was gonna watch it like when it comes out on certain things. I was gonna watch it by myself anyway, so fuck it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I want to see it again.
Me too.
I'd give it an 8. I'll be honest.
Yeah, I mean it's really good. It scared the crap out of me. So if you're there for that, it's good. It also all the kid actors were great, which is kind of not
surprising.
Rare. Apparently there's this thing where gay people want to fuck the clown now, which I personally don't get.
Yeah, they were shipping the Babadook and it.
Yeah, so basically, for those of you who have been living under a rock, the Babadook became a gay icon over the summer.
Why?
Here's what happened. There was a screenshot going around where somebody accidentally put the Babadook on Netflix under the LGBTQ section. So people were saying the B stands for Babadook. Yeah,
that's funny.
Which I mean, I self-identify as the Babadook, so
I don't.
I know you don't.
It's not because I don't like LGBTQ people. I don't like that movie.
What?
Yeah.
I love that movie. What? We're getting off topic.
Yeah.
So when Pennywise, when it came out, people were like, "Oh, Pennywise is first of all the actor who plays Pennywise, super hot."
Yeah, without all that makeup and the extra
not
part
as
of the
Pennywise.
head. Yeah.
As Pennywise, he is horrifying to look at.
Yeah.
But I think people were just like, it's kind of like, how people on the internet kind of just are like, shit. They like transgressive humor.
Yeah.
So I think this is wrapped into that.
Yeah.
Whatever. We're getting off topic. Basically, Pennywise is now a gay icon, and I disapprove because he literally murders children, but it's fine.
Now, in like the old English term of queer meaning weird, yeah, sure, fuck it, why not?
Yeah,
but in like the way the word is used, I don't see that happening. There was very minimal because I know what happens with the books.
Yeah.
But there was very minimal.
I like to think that Pennywise doesn't really have a sexuality because he's an immortal. Spoilers for it, but the book's been out since '86, so get the fuck off my dick. Pennywise, is an immortal spider thing.
Yeah. Immortal
eats
spider
children.
demon, yeah.
Yeah, I guess. Doesn't really go into much detail. All right, I guess Pennywise could be gay.
Anything's gay.
Take
if you
your
try
cryptids.
Enough. Cry. Damn it, I'm sorry.
Anything's
try.
gay if you try hard enough.
Yeah, like anything's a
how I live my
dildo
life.
if you try enough. Yeah.
But yeah, it was super great. Go check it out if it's still in theaters or rent it or buy it or whatever.
I think PlayStation was already offering like pre-order thingies for it.
Oh, snap.
They want to pre-order everything these days.
That's true. I was reading Stephen King before I went to go see it. I actually started The Gunslinger again because I saw The Dark Tower, right, which I talked about a couple weeks ago, and I was like, I need to wash my mouth out with some Gunslinger. But yeah, that's what I'm checking out. Read fan fiction. I think it's important to support young, writers and really talented writers, and I think there's a lot of really great stuff out there.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of shit too, but you can say that for literally everything, so there's no reason to
to snob your nose at anything.
Exactly,
or
yes.
snub your nose, yeah.
And that's what I've been reading, y'all. Gunslinger, Everything's Eventual, fan fiction.
Nice. Do you want to talk that moment, like right before we left from watching it, when we both saw that car and it just stopped and it was weird because it was just me, you, a dude sitting on the curb, and we were just like the car just sits there for a minute and it's got super tinted windows and we just look at each other and we're like, yeah, peace out.
Yeah, we both. Yeah, so this car drove. We were outside after the movie, and we went to go see it pretty late, so it was like midnight when we got out.
Yeah,
we were outside after the movie, and we're both just like super hyped up, and like our adrenaline's running for a good couple hours.
I don't know if the listeners could hear that, but there's like thunder and stuff going on. It's supposed to be storming till about 5 o'clock tonight.
That's a good thing I wasn't planning on driving anyways.
Yeah, well,
me and somebody are thinking about going to Nashville, so that's fun.
Yeah, but
May just go home.
Yeah.
So this car drove up, and we were like, "There's no way there's another showing. It's Sunday night. There's no fucking way."
It was 12:30.
And then it stopped facing us, and Ben and I were just like, "All right, time to nope the fuck out of here," and we drove off into the distance.
Yeah.
Travis, I want to ask you a question.
Okay.
Do you have any books lined up? Anything you plan on reading next?
Nah.
I got I know you didn't ask me,
but it's a question for the table.
I figured. I've got a backlog of books that I'm just looking at. A couple, both Neil Gaiman. Good Omens, and I've got the first two of the Sandman series.
Nice. Both. Those are all really good choices.
Yeah. That's what I got lined up. I'm thinking about getting back into poetry and because I got this massive collection of Blake, and I fucking love his work, and I've been thinking about trolling through it again.
He is fantastic.
Hell yeah. What about you? What do you have lined up to
So
read?
there's this book out called Meddling Kids, and it is basically a deconstruction of the Scooby-Doo mythos.
Yeah.
But it's about these kids who solve a mystery in their town, or they think they've solved a mystery. Oh god, the plot's very similar to it, I've just realized. But they solve a mystery in their town, they think they've solved a mystery, and years later they get back together to actually solve it, but like they all have like one of the kids has severe PTSD.
So it's basically it.
Yeah. Another one has committed suicide. So it's basically it. It's but I really want to read it because I really like, first of all, I love Scooby-Doo. And second of all, I like deconstructions of Scooby-Doo. So
Speaking of, that sounds like an amazing series, and I kind of want to read it too now.
I don't think it's serious. I think it's just one book.
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, I don't
When I buy it, I'll let you borrow it after I'm done.
Badass. But speaking of anthropomorphic dogs, how do you feel about Courage the Cowardly Dog?
Oh, I love Courage.
Good. Everyone should.
Yeah, it's a great series.
Yeah.
First of all, and I'm going to actually, I talked about this when we watched it. So I had a problem with watching it. Not because it wasn't good, but just because I hate seeing children in danger.
I can understand that. That's how I feel. I don't like animals in danger. Like
Right.
people of any size, I don't mind in horror
Yeah,
movies.
that's 'cause we hate
Animals,
children.
no, that's true.
Yeah. What's something that you can't watch in horror movies?
I don't watch horror movies.
Oh, well, there you go.
There you go. All right, fair enough. Like, do you not like the feelings they make you feel, or would you rather be watching something that makes you feel a different way?
I'd rather just not.
Just rather not. All right.
Yeah.
I dig it. I feel you.
I actually, I think the reason why is because I think of kids as something that needs to be protected. But I think when I was a child and I saw it, I had a much easier time because I saw kids going in and kicking ass and
Right.
taking names. Like, these were kids who were defeating this evil. And that's really badass. I think kids can handle much more disturbing works than we think they can.
Yeah.
Because Courage the Cowardly Dog, like, it was like a scary show.
It really was.
But I still loved it when I was a kid.
Yeah, because you watch this little scaredy cat dog like overcome his fears, which was really
For the love of somebody.
Yeah.
Because
You
he
do for
loves
love.
somebody.
the things I do for love.
Yeah. That's a very wholesome show.
Fuck yeah, it
It's
is.
a very wholesome
Yeah.
show.
You could make the same argument for it because
Yeah.
I think it is a good movie to take kids to.
Yeah.
Not because I don't like kids, but because I think it would instill like, look at these kids through the power of friendship coming
Yeah.
together and kick this demon's ass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they overcame their fears to did it. Like the end of the movie / the first part of the book, which is focused on them as kids, and
Yeah.
the second part's on them as adults. They literally say, like, you can't kill me anymore because I'm not afraid of you.
Yeah.
It's about them facing their fears, accepting their fears, and also accepting grief.
Yeah.
That's a very powerful lesson for a kid to learn.
Hell yeah.
That's our suggestion.
Yeah.
Because I really
Take your kids to it.
damn right.
Are we ready to watch this episode?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Because storms and shit, baby.
Yeah.
It's home.
It's storming, and if the power goes out, then we're not going to be able to record.
Nope.
So,
Well, at least we've got a good stopping point.
yeah.
True.
And the power flickered in the middle of us recording this, so I was like, hold on.
Let
me save everything before. Just got to do it just in case.
Look, we're not doing this again, goddammit.
Yeah. All right. What is this episode?
It's called Home.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, you're thinking it's about
All right, so Sam and Dean go into a house, and it's full of ghosts, and then the ghosts
Well, you're not wrong.
incorporate them into their family, and Sam and Dean becomes ghosts, and then
Aw.
the series ends,
Well, you are
and
wrong.
then everything else after that is just fake.
Aw.
Everyone is just like, oh yeah, Supernatural, that show that lasted for 13 seasons, but really it just lasted at episode 9, and then everyone else has just been having a fever dream.
That sounds about
Okay,
right.
well, let's see.
Yeah, let's find out.
All right.
Every day, cryptids suffer. They are hungry, tired, starved for attention. Here at the Cryptid Reserve and Protection Service, we are dedicated to giving to cryptids in need. You can say, I won't stand by while innocent cryptids suffer. For just 20 cents a day, you can dump a bottle of water into Lake Loch Ness and give Nessie enough water to hide in. Call today, call tomorrow, call 10 days ago. Call 1-666-2727 and sponsor a cryptid today.
Welcome back to Hey Assbutt.
Hey!
Ben, have you
Hello.
been cheating on us with
Yes.
the Skyrim podcast?
Yeah, it's called Snookcast. If you haven't heard.
Snookcast. Oh, you
Hey.
motherfucker.
You.
I'm really high. I'm up on this.
Yeah.
I'm high on sweet tea and life, my friends.
You guys are both out of control.
And barbiturates.
Hey. Yep.
Just kidding. I don't even know where I'd get barbiturates.
Yeah, me neither.
I
Is
barely
that
know
what-
what barbiturates
I don't even.
are.
Yeah, I don't even know what that word means.
I think they're Barbara Streisand fans. I don't know.
I mean, well, in that case, I am a barbiturate.
Hey.
I love Barbara Streisand.
I liked her in Meet the Fockers. That was a good movie.
Okay,
All right.
let's move on.
So
What?
Sure,
What did
sure.
we? What did we watch? Poltergeist.
we
yes.
watched The Exorcism.
We watched
House.
ghost
Home.
movies.
Home. House.
Home.
What was it called?
It was called Home.
Oh, that's right. We're
Guys.
starting a
Oh.
house podcast.
Oh shit! Anime called Rim is what we watched.
Oh my
Oh
god.
yeah, y'all watch that too. This isn't the anime club. This is the supernatural club. Go down the hall to room 201 if you're gonna be a weeb.
All right, Mr. Short. Sorry. I'll get in that English paper on Monday. I think it's ironic because I'm like 30 years older than you.
All right, is it that much?
You're a child.
I mean, I know I'm a
I'm an
tiny baby.
adult.
I know I'm a tiny baby, but I didn't think I was that tiny.
Even if you were a tiny baby, like a fresh out of the womb baby,
Yeah.
fresh baby, I would still not be 30 years older than you. Or would I?
Or would you?
I am
How
judging.
old?
Dun.
I'm pretty sure you've already said how old you were on the podcast
Yeah, I'm
at
1,000
least
years
once.
old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm 102.
Ari's 102, Ben is like 65, and I am 12.
Yes.
right,
Yes.
I'm 65.
That's his real voice. He puts on a radio voice
He puts
for
on-
the podcast.
That's the voice he puts on for the podcast is his NPR voice.
I took
Yeah.
out my dentures and everything.
He wants to work for All Things Considered.
Oh my God.
Where's my tapioca pudding?
I'm Robert Siegel, and
Um,
I'm Ben Tachmiller. I'm here to talk about this here state of the world. Have y'all seen this shit? It's fucking nuts.
Oh my God.
We got a
We
reality
got a
host.
mouth breather as a president.
What? What
talk
is
about the
this show?
episode.
What are we doing?
I don't know. Oh,
Can we talk about the episode
Yeah,
now?
all
Who
right,
wants to do the
please.
recap?
Travis.
I'll do the recap.
Okay. Will you do the recap correctly?
I guess
Look,
so.
Travis, last week I was the one who had to rein everybody in, but Ben and I are fucking crazy right now.
Yeah, I know.
We're gonna need a mom.
Why do you think
gotta be the mom.
Why do you think I decided to do the recap
All
this
right,
week?
fair enough.
Oh,
Keep
damn.
going. I'm
So-
excited to see this.
Cold open. There's a lady in a house, and she's either just been divorced or her husband died or something. But it's her and her two small children. One of them's like toddler age because he still has to be locked up in a dog kennel. The other one,
Let him roll with it. Let him roll with it.
No, it's fine.
the other
Yeah,
one
keep
is like
going.
9 years old or something. And so the 9-year-old, they're like, this is the new house. Just get used to it. You know, you little fucks.
You got to house train him.
Yeah,
God, you
she's
guys
got a
do
house.
not like kids.
She's got a house trainer children, and so the little girl is like, oh, there's something in my closet. You know, typical like, oh, it's gonna be the boogie monster or something. And the mom, very bravely, she like opens the closet. She's like, "There's nothing in here. I'm gonna live forever."
Yeah. Hi,
spoiler,
my name is Mom, and I'm gonna live forever.
Yeah, spoiler, she doesn't actually die. That's not a spoiler. I mean, it is. It's not. It doesn't matter. So she like, look, there's nothing in here. It's fine. And then she like, the girl very smartly is like, hey, put the chair in front of the closet just in case. And the mom's like, all right, you fucking weirdo. So
Wow, God, never have children.
maybe I'm projecting on this mom, but who knows?
All right, we went from recording at 11 o'clock in the morning to 11 o'clock at night. And he just went to work, and we're being kind of crazy.
Yeah.
All right, I'll calm down.
Yeah.
So event like the last scene of the cold open is the chair like sliding out from the closet door, and it opens and there's just a thing on fire, and then it cuts to Sam and Dean in an undescript location, and Sam is like had a vision and drawing on something, and Dean is doing whatever, and Dean is like trying to find the next job, and Sam is like, no, my spidey senses are telling me that we need to go back to our old house.
Well, it's not even just that he doesn't have a vision of what we've already seen. He has a vision of Hot Mom.
Yeah.
Or
Hom.
As we'll call her. Hom. He has a vision of Hom banging on the glass, being like,
she's like, help me, I'm stuck in here.
Out,
help
please.
me.
So this is like something that hasn't happened yet.
Right, because he's like, he finally tells Dean, hey, I've had visions before that have come true.
I've got the shine.
Yeah, whatever that means.
It's a reference to Stephen King. Continue.
Cool. We've talked about Stephen King a lot this episode, or maybe
really
just this weekend. I don't know.
Just in life.
We just talked about the king a lot, man.
Yeah. But so he's like, oh, that's weird. And so they go back to their old house within one transition. Rock music plays.
A blurb of rock music plays. It's basically a strum as they motor down the.
Yeah, it's not even a song this time. It's a.
So they go to their old house and they like. Is this the first time that they don't like actively lie to somebody about why they're there?
Yeah, pretty
much. I mean, they didn't tell her the full reason why they were there, but they were still pretty honest with like, hey, we used to live here, we want to check it out. And then they're like, oh, there's a fucking ghost here. Yeah. You know, she was telling us about the stuff and it's a ghost.
That statement raises questions though. Is withholding the truth or like the whole truth, is that lying?
Yes.
Yes. But I think what Travis means is that, like, they aren't just lying about who they are.
Yeah,
they're not lying about
They're not,
everything.
hey, we're the police. Hey, we're the FBI.
We're gas inspectors.
We're just two dudes that used to live here.
Right. So my name is Sam. This is Dean.
Yeah.
Welcome to
using
Jackass.
our real names.
Yep.
Yeah, welcome to Jackass. We're going to go punch a poltergeist in the nuts.
And so there's like a whole thing where they like check out the house and they're like, there's definitely something here. And then they, I guess they go through their dad's journal and find, do they go talk to some people in town to find out about why their dad like disappeared and what he was doing when he disappeared and all that kind of stuff. And then they finally figure out the first sentence of his journal is, I went to Missouri and found the truth. And they're like, oh, I just thought it was a place. But it turns out it's the psychic named Missouri Mosley, who is wonderful. I love her. She was great.
She's a delight.
Because she is the person who will, like, call Dean out on his bullshit all day, the whole episode.
Yeah.
Dean was just, like, trying to be a badass, and she was like, don't you put your feet on my table. And he was like, I wasn't going to. Well, you're thinking about it. I love it. And they're basically like, yeah, this is what's up. And she's like, oh, well, that's crazy. And so they basically like, they band together to help get rid of the spirit. And they do this thing with like stuff in the walls.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they put basically like little like charms in the walls. So this is actually a witchy thing that's based in, you know, like if you're thinking like,
yeah, it's like based in
witches.
real like witch folklore, right?
Yeah,
like
real
putting a certain thing on different things on different corners of the house, on northeast, southwest walls of the house, and then it helps get rid of the poltergeist
and they're basically
or whatever
little
it was.
bags of herbs.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like a goat hand and children's blood and the heart of a virgin. It's just like, you know, time.
Like later on in the show, we're going to see a thing called hex bags, and that's essentially children's bloods, the bones of puppies, and the hairs of kittens.
Yeah.
But
But so
isn't that.
it was a really neat thing to see. Now I may have gotten this out of order, but they like figure out that it's a poltergeist, and they do that. Is that before or after the thing happens with the plumber?
That is after the thing happens with the plumber.
Okay, so there's this thing with the plumber where they're like,
Yeah, the plumber.
this is how they like figure out that it is a poltergeist, because this lady that's living in the house, she's like, oh, my sinks are backed up and other ghostly things, but she doesn't know it's a ghost. She's like, oh, this house is just a piece of shit.
Yeah.
And
There's
so
rats everywhere. The lights flicker.
And there's this plumber who's there to unclog the sink, and he's doing a pretty good job. There's this weird monkey thing laughing at him the whole time, and he's like undoing the pipes, and he like he first of all he unplugs the garbage disposal, and then makes sure it's off, and he sticks his hand down in there, and just like everybody's deep primal urban fear of
Vital Destination 2.
Yeah. Of the garbage disposal turning on while your hand is in there, and like 1,000 pounds of blood fall out of them.
Yeah. To this day, I will not stick my hand in the garbage disposal.
Oh, I do it all the
because of
time. I don't give a
Supernatural.
fuck.
Yeah, you might say that plumber is no longer a handyman.
Travis, continue.
So there's that, and then they do the poltergeist thing, and then but then they're like, oh, it's not gone. There's still something crazy happening. And there's this like person on fire walking through the house and all that, and Sam and Dean there's this very, very awesome callback, because there's a moment that Sam and Dean have while they're trying to figure out while they're like talking about the house for the first time. And they're talking about their parents and all that. And the night of the accident, the very first episode, Dean is like, yeah, I carried you out of that house. And he's like, oh, really? Yeah. You didn't know that? That was like a nice little moment. And so the poltergeist is still attacking, and then there's this ghost on fire. It's the man on fire. That was yeah, you got it. Okay.
I'm not gonna say anything about it. God damn it.
It was a Metal Gear Solid
Yeah, it
reference.
was MGS5.
MGS5 reference. Anyway, so there's this ghost on fire in the house, and there's the poltergeist that's acting crazy, and he's like slinging Sam and Dean all over the place, or Sam specifically. But when they realize that the ghost isn't actually gone, Sam and Dean rush in there, and they're like, you get Hot Mom and you get the kids. And then Sam turns to the little girl and says, take your brother and run out of the house and don't look back, or whatever it was.
He says, take your brother outside. Wait, I'm going to look up the line while you're finishing the review.
But it's basically a callback to the first episode where John Winchester tells Dean to take Sam and run out of the house. It's the same line, and it was like a very like, oh, yes! He said the thing! Yeah. It's a callback!
Yeah. The line is, take your brother outside as fast as you can. Don't look back. Now, Dean, go!
Yeah.
And it is a line that we hear often on this podcast because they do the recap before every episode, and that line is always in the recap. Always.
And so,
at least for this first season.
And so there's this ghost on fire walking around, and Sam is like pinned up against the wall, and then he can like see the ghost, and the ghost finally appears to be the spirit of their mom.
Dun, dun,
Bum, bum,
dun.
bum.
Mary Winchester herself.
And she's like, oh, you guys are great. And then she's like, hey, poltergeist, you get the fuck out of here. And she like shoots it to the moon. and then she like gets burnt up too, because she uses all of her spirit energy to get rid of it, and she gets destroyed.
Spirit guns him the fuck out of here.
She's like, finger bang, and just
pew, 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 at the ceiling.
Not only did she use her spirit energy, but all of her life energy as well.
Yes.
Yeah, so she's
important distinction.
And they bring Missouri to like confirm that, like, oh yeah, she's not here anymore. This is probably what happened. And it was really cool. I don't know. This was a nice episode. It was
Wait,
it
you
was fun.
forgot one last scene.
What did I forget?
I think I know what you're talking about.
Missouri goes back to the office.
Oh,
Her
Oh
apartment,
yeah, okay, yeah.
and she's
The
like-
end.
Yeah.
And she goes back to her place, her psychic place,
Mm-hmm.
and fucking Dad is sitting there.
Yeah, John Winchester himself.
And Missouri is like, why won't you go talk to your fucking kids? And John Winchester is like, because I'm a huge piece of shit.
it was like a scene from the goddamn Steve Wilkos show.
Yeah.
The real answer, he says, is because, like, I really want to go see them.
Yeah,
But
so-
I won't until I know the truth.
Yeah.
Which Ben and I, at that moment, I basically turned to Ben and went, because I know the truth.
Oh, God.
And I still think he's a piece of shit.
See,
Yeah. The truth
we
is out
colored
there.
your view. I feel bad. We should have, like, not told you what we thought of John until you made your own opinion, but
I mean, but still, that's like a shitty thing. They're in the
is.
same city.
yeah.
And he's like, no, I can't go see it. Like, here's my take on it. There is something that's physically keeping him from seeing Sam and Dean. Or they're keeping them from them seeing him or something. There's like a physical,
well, yeah.
not a physical, but they're like, he literally can't see them or he'll die or something like that.
We don't have anything to say on
Yeah,
that.
don't
Yeah, we
don't
don't say-
spoil.
can't say
Yeah,
anything.
don't
Alright,
do anything.
alright,
That's
alright.
just
So-
what. That's just what I said.
To swerve the conversation a bit, there was
Swerve it.
another thing he forgot to talk about,
What was
What?
that?
and that was a little kid that was in the dog kennel.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah. So this
Okay,
kid was
first
like,
of all, it's not a dog
it's
kennel.
not a dog kennel, but it was
It's
like
it's a
a
baby
cage.
Playpen baby cage. I don't give a fuck.
It was
It's
also
a
like
baby
it was the weirdest baby cage I've ever seen.
It was huge.
Also-
It was tall, first of all.
It's
it was-
bigger than the kid.
It was
Yeah.
tall. It was like if the kid was like 2.5 feet tall, this thing was 4 feet tall.
If the
Okay.
kid was a Rottweiler, he would have stayed in that thing.
Have you
Yeah.
guys seen Battlefield Earth?
yes.
Yeah.
You know, at the end of the movie when John Travolta gets locked in that cage and he's surrounded by the gold, and the other, not John Travolta alien, comes up to him and is like, "I wanted to surround you with the thing you loved most."
Oh my god.
Gold. That cage that John Travolta's in, that's the cage that kid was
Yeah,
in.
it's like that.
It's fucking huge.
It's weird, and the kid is like a weird kid. He's like, I gotta have juice.
Well, okay, that I don't have a problem
juice,
with
juice,
because
juice,
have you ever been around a 3-year-old? They are juice fiends.
I mean, I've been around some 3-year-olds. I've
Yeah.
never been around 3-year-olds that are that weird.
yeah, juice addict.
Yeah.
I think that wasn't the fault of the kid. I think that was the writer being like, "How do children?
Yeah, what do children
we
do?
need the child to climb into the refrigerator."
Yeah.
that's it. So
Oh,
basically,
that's another thing where that was like a poltergeisty thing. Is
Yeah.
that the poltergeist knocks the
knocks the baby cage down.
baby cage down.
the
and
John
open-
Travolta end of
Yeah.
Battlefield Earth cage.
and opens the fridge, which is baby locked.
Yes.
By the way, it's got like a little baby strap
Got a
on it.
baby
Yeah.
latch.
And then the kid, for some reason, climbs into the juice
Yeah.
is sitting right there.
Like he can lean over and grab it.
He doesn't
but-
have to physically
Yeah,
get in.
Well,
he like steps up and climbs into it. Also, who doesn't have shelves in their refrigerator?
Right? I mean,
yeah,
damn.
I guess the excuse is this woman has just moved, but like,
But like
The first thing
refrigerators still have shelves. We moved
Yeah.
in, our refrigerator has 2 shelves.
yes. So yeah, it is. The shelves were clearly taken out so that this kid could fit in.
Yeah.
So that the poltergeist can shut the door and close the latch.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that very small thing, like,
Yeah, I will
good
say.
fucking episode, guys.
Even with that,
Yeah.
I mean, you know how I like my kids. Chill.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Shut the fuck up, Matt.
There was a really funny thing.
I'm gonna go grab a thing. Keep talking.
Okay. There was a really funny thing that happened where, so I think we've mentioned before that we watched the show with the captions on, and this moment happened where Dean is freaking out, and he's trying to call his dad on the phone, and it goes to his voicemail, and it's like, we've heard the voicemail before. It's like, if it's really important, call Dean. Here's the number. And then we heard John Winchester on the voicemail say a phone number, but then the phone number that popped up on the caption was not the number that he said at all, which makes me think that they accidentally broadcasted a full phone number, like a real phone number, and then in the captions they were like, "Oh shit, we're not supposed to do that."
I like it.
What are your thoughts, Pizza Mouth?
I thought that too.
Or
I thought that too, but then the number had 555.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
Okay. But it was still not the same number.
No, it was not the same
Yeah,
number,
no.
Not at all.
which was crazy.
it kind of blew my mind.
I may have watched a smidge of the episode because you were talking about that earlier, where it was like it wasn't the same number. So I think because like in the show, this is not a spoiler.
Yeah.
They have but like between Sam, Dean, and John, supposedly there's like 20 cell phones.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Like the thing in the fucking
Are you
Cult
saying
Department.
this caption was a reference to the fact that they have 1 billion cell phones?
yes.
No,
No.
it wasn't.
Oh.
That
Yeah.
was just a mistake.
Yeah. See, that's what I was
But-
thinking. It's like, oh shit, you don't know that, because there's like level 1. Well, they don't really say it in the show. If it's like important, you call this number. If it's really important, you call this number. If it's really, really important, you call this number.
Well,
Oh
and
my
also they
God.
got like,
Yeah.
they have all their like, I'm agent so-and-so, and you don't want to be changing up your voicemail 24 hours a day.
Right,
Damn
yeah.
right.
I had a note. I had a couple of notes.
What's that?
My first note was that child is adorable. I was talking about the daughter.
Oh, yeah, the
Because
daughter is pretty good.
Her opening scene is like, Mommy, I'm scared of the ghost in the closet. And the mom's like,
There's
"Just don't be a fucking idiot. Yeah.
Don't be a bitch.
And I said, that child is adorable. Everything is sad. And then I said, I've been to Lawrence, Kansas. No one is happy in Lawrence, Kansas.
Yeah.
That's only because I'm a Mizzou fan.
Nice.
And then also, was the uniform for women in the early 2000s low-rise bootcut jeans and a tank top?
Yes.
Yeah.
Every woman in this show, unless they are business, is wearing that outfit.
I'm wearing that outfit right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you look great.
I know.
You know what? You know what I'm
Get it,
wearing?
girl.
Yeah. He's getting it. He's getting it. He's got it. He's got it good. Mm-hmm. Yeah. He's working it. Just saying.
Oh, and then the other thing, okay, also in that opening scene, the cold open, the mom, hot mom, or
Yeah.
Hom, finds pictures of Sam and Dean.
Oh, yeah, that was another thing. That's why.
Like, how? They were in a metal canister.
Yeah. Do you think?
How did that survive the fire?
Do
The
you?
metal canister.
Well, they
Is that
said
it?
that the whole house didn't get burned down.
Okay, so they were in the basement.
Yeah, those pictures were in the basement, and it's probably something they got packed up and then stuffed down there and forgotten about.
And the fire did start on the second floor. All
Yeah,
right, fair
yeah,
enough,
yeah,
fair
yeah.
enough.
With as much as like John was moving the kids around, he's not carrying everything.
No, I understand.
Yeah, and maybe even possibly, Mom Winchester pushed it out a little bit to kind of be like,
Yeah, there's a story here.
That's believable.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
yeah, and then that way, if Sam and Dean ever did come back, which they did, they could be like, "Hey, I'm Sam and Dean.
We lived here.
We lived here." They
Here's
could be
the
like,
proof.
"Yeah," they're like, "Oh yeah, I've found a big old box of your pictures."
The other thing I want to talk about is in that opening scene, not in the opening scene, but when Sam and Dean meet the kids for the first time, and they're talking to the daughter, who is not important enough to have a name.
Right.
Let's
oh
call her
God.
Sophie.
Yeah, she's
And
not.
she's daughter number 1.
She's the only daughter. She's the daughter.
the
Literally.
daughter.
Let's call her Sophie
Let's
because
call her
that's
Sophie.
the name of one of my kids in Skyrim.
It's my dog's name. One of my dog's name is Sophie. I'm excited now.
That's adorable.
Yeah.
I know someone completely unrelated named Sophie.
Oh my god.
You know
the
what
world is
Sophie's
such a
full
small
name?
place.
What?
Sophilicious.
So delicious.
Exactly.
Woo wee. Okay, so they're talking to the kid, and she's like, "Mom, tell him about the fire ghost.
Yeah.
Mom, the fire ghost. Mom, please tell him about the fire ghost."
And she's like, "Quit being a fucking weirdo and
Yeah.
eat your juice."
Yeah.
Or whatever.
We eat juice in this
Yeah.
family.
We freeze juice and then we eat it.
Yeah. It's like a sorbet. It's pleasant.
While she was eating her juice,
A
she was,
granada.
she was blinking in Morse code. Please, the fire ghost, help us.
Yeah.
So basically, she's like, "Yeah, did you guys have anything like that when you were kids?" And Sam and Dean were like, "No, ghosts don't exist."
No,
Wink.
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 Wink, wonk.
They're fantastically bad liars. I don't
Yeah.
understand how they keep this job. They,
No, you save
They-
your poker face when you need it in a game of poker.
yeah, I guess not against impressionable young children and their fucking mom who thinks you're crazy.
It's true.
But yeah, those are just some of the many things I noticed. Many, many things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you guys want to talk about?
Honestly, I mean, this episode was good and it was simple.
Yeah.
Like, there's really not much to talk about except for what happened in the episode. Like, it was just like, that's what happened. That's all there is, really. Like, there's no hidden meanings or anything like
what
that.
What did you guys like about it?
I liked the poltergeisty stuff and I loved Missouri Montgomery or whatever her name was. Missouri Mosley.
Honestly, like, this episode was kind of the opposite of last week's.
Yeah, yeah, it was good. It didn't feel like it lasted. It lasted just enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, because this is how you do short, precise, and it makes sense.
Yeah.
It still had a Deus Ex Machina or a Deus
It still had a Deus Ex
Machina.
Hey.
But it felt earned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, first of all, we saw real struggle with the poltergeist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then for 8 episodes before this, we've seen them,
We've seen
talking about mom.
We've seen them talking about mom and
Yeah.
building up the fact that Dean kind of thinks of her as like this amazing, perfect woman because he hasn't spent any time with her.
Yeah.
And Sam
Never met her.
Never met her.
Yeah.
And just is like the abstract figure, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, it is a Deus Ex Machina, but it means something.
I can't believe you said it again.
Say it one more
I
time.
see you do not know me very well, Trevor Short.
But yeah, it meant something, and it completed the rising action.
Yes. Or it completed the climax.
Yeah.
Like, this wasn't just like an entire rising action. This had like your lead in, a little bit of falling, a little bit more rising, then your climax, then it falls back down. Then, oh shit, picks back up, then we're coming back down.
It was a very nice mountain range of an episode.
Exactly.
Yes. And,
Rocky Mountain High on this
we
episode.
learned more about Sam's powers.
Yeah.
Not only does he have visions, but he is a powerful psychic.
Yeah.
He can sense the fact that the poltergeist is still around, even when Missouri can't.
Right.
You might say we're not in
And
Missouri
even,
anymore.
I think even
Or
Missouri.
Kansas.
Hey.
Yeah. Wait, aren't they next to each other?
They are, and they're actually very close. Lawrence is not very far away from the Missouri border.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
But yeah, in Missouri, like, oh man, that boy can get it.
Yep.
That boy's got the
Well, not
shine
in a
real
sex
bad.
way, in like
Yeah.
a psychic way.
Yeah, I mean, what did you think I meant?
I thought you meant in like a sex way.
No.
I know.
Why would I think that?
I don't know.
You might say Sam and Jess were real hot in the sheets, if you know what I'm saying.
What?
Boo!
What?
It's a joke about like Jess dying
Oh,
on fire.
God damn it.
Did she
Well,
die from the
these-
fire or did she die from the hole in her stomach? Let's put things in perspective.
Wow, that's just a whole nother, it's a whole nother sex thing. I mean,
Okay.
Like, I guess
Now
like
we know
father,
what
like
Ben's
son.
into.
Yeah, fires and holes in stomachs.
All right. But yeah, I mean, like, I feel weird about not having more to say, but there's really not much else to say about this episode unless you have more notes.
I have more notes.
Oh, well,
right.
why didn't you say so?
Here's the thing that a lot of television shows do, and I get it. You want to show off your locations. You spend a lot of money on those locations, and you want to get all the money you can.
Yeah.
But please stop doing this. We start a conversation in one place, and then we cut to a new
Yeah.
location and continue that same conversation.
Yeah.
Here's what happens. Sam and Dean start a conversation about the night of the fire while they're in front of the house.
Mm-hmm.
Then they presumably got in the car, stopped talking to each
Okay,
other.
yeah, I remember
drove
that.
to a gas station.
Because that was a noticeable jump cut.
Yes.
Like, it cut fast, and it was just like,
Almost mid-sentence.
Yeah,
I
in
guess
a very
we're-
different location.
yeah, I
'cause
guess
we
we're
went from
here
like a
now.
neighborhood to like a gas station. So it was like, again, in real time, they drove to the gas station. They didn't
Yeah.
talk to each other on the way. And then they got out of the car and then resumed the conversation.
well, maybe
Which
while they
isn't-
were in the car, they had to read their scripts on the way to the gas station.
Yeah, that's not a good thing to remind the audience of, Travis. I was gonna say maybe they were arguing over music or something.
No,
Yeah, maybe.
driver picks the music, shotgun shuts his cake hole.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
yeah. No, because it's all it's gonna be. It's either gonna be Motorhead or Metallica. That's it. That's it.
AC/DC,
Yeah, that's true. Oh, that's a story for another time.
Kansas.
Yeah. Carry on, my wayward son.
Oh, I
Yeah.
get it, because it starts in Kansas.
Hey.
And
That's like the
their
song.
sons of
And they're
John,
wayward.
and they're wayward. They're going all kind.
And they
They're
gotta
warding
carry
all kind
on.
of ways, and they gotta get going. I
That
get it
song
now.
might as well have been written for Supernatural, but I'm not entirely convinced that Supernatural wasn't written to fit that song.
Yeah. When do they play that song? Do
At
they
the
ever play
end.
the song at the end?
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the end of what?
The
The
season.
show isn't over.
Yeah.
At the end of the show. At the end of the
How
season.
does everyone know? Like at the end of every season?
Yes.
Oh.
It's
okay.
like the final season, kind of like the wrap up kind of thing.
Gotcha.
It's like, well, it's the last episode of the season. We're playing that in the beginning to catch you up for the entire season.
Ah, okay.
I really hope at some point the show has the balls to use the Gore cover of Kansas of Carry On My Wayward Son. Oh, it's good. I love it. It's a good shit.
Can we talk about the fact that Missouri Mosley said cold banging?
Yeah.
What?
What, you never go around cold begging nobody?
Okay.
What is
Ben,
that supposed
I
to
understand
mean?
you're from the hills, and that's how you people talk. So when we walked into Missouri's office, and we have this trope. This is a very common, like, here's how you tell the difference between a real psychic and a fake psychic.
Oh, yeah.
Where-
It's like they already know their names.
Yeah.
And
Well, I
thoughts.
was going to say, so they walk into the office, and she is just gotten done with a client.
yeah.
She's a professional psychic, right? She's just gotten done with a client, and so she moves out of town or moves out of town. What was I thinking of? You know what I was thinking of? The season 7 episode, The Mentalists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any hoozle, so.
Any hoozles, back to back. So she's just gotten done with a client, and she's like, "Don't worry, your wife is crazy about you, guy."
She's not cheating on you.
Wink, wink. Yeah, she
Nudge,
might as well
nudge.
turn to the camera and give him the, like, Michael Scott into the office face, into the camera face.
Yeah.
And she walks out, and immediately she says, "Oh, that poor man. His wife is cold banging the gardener." What the fuck is cold banging?
Oh,
don't know-
I get it. I think I get it. Cold banging, as in kind of like murdering in cold blood.
Oh, having
like-
sex in cold blood.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's like banging the gardener, but it's just because there's no like other reason besides she's tired of her husband or something like
And
that.
also, there's blood.
Like there's no
In the weird hot kinky sex there is.
there's no malicious intent behind it. She's
Right.
just banging the gardener.
Yeah.
She's been screwing the gardener.
Yeah.
Okay, that all comes together.
Yeah, see, I mean, I kind of understood that contextually.
Did you think they were fucking in the walk-in?
I mean, I don't know what to think.
Me neither.
I just thought it was a fun word. I didn't think I mean, I understood what she was saying, but, like, I just didn't, like, cold banging.
I mean,
It is
cold
kind of
banging.
it's a weird.
it's not like shagging ass.
No, it's not shag ass.
Yeah.
It is on the legendary level of shag ass. Here's what I think sometimes. I think sometimes writers are like, this character talks kooky. You know,
Yeah.
kooky.
Let's make him say something weird.
How do we best represent that? Oh, the word cold banging.
Cold banging.
Or in the case of Dean, shag ass.
Yeah.
Or in the case of Sam, no examples.
I
No
wanna get-
examples. Sam is very normal.
Mm-hmm.
I want to get the writer of the show who made the choices to have shag ass and cold banging.
Yeah, get them a drink. And
Shit.
then ask them why.
No, we're buying a bottle and we're recording in here.
Yeah.
Yeah, talking about the show with them. Mm-hmm. I guess if
I bet that was the creator of the show, Eric Kripke.
I hope so. I
That would
want
be
to meet that
amazing.
dude. Hell yeah.
I would- please,
Yeah.
Mr. Kripke, if you're listening.
And Bill Murray's brother.
Eric, if you're nasty.
Yeah, Eric, if you're nasty. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Kripke, if you're feeling
But this is
kinky.
the trope I was thinking about. It's a very common thing where it's like, oh, we've met a real psychic, and they do readings.
Yeah.
And the protagonist will go in and they'll be like, hey, real psychic, why did you just lie to that guy? And the
Oh,
real
yeah.
psychic always goes, because people don't come to me to learn the truth.
Yeah.
They come to learn what makes them happy, which is word for word what she says.
Yeah, literally.
Just a very, like, this happens. a
It's
lot.
very like, oh, I just tell people what they want to hear. Like, I can sense the truth on them, and I know they don't want to hear it.
It's a bit of the it has I mean that trope has its roots in in Greek mythology.
Yeah.
With the character of Cassandra who told the truth but was cursed so that nobody would believe her. Which is kind of like the idea that like psychics, if you're going to go, there's this idea that if you're going to try to learn the future, you're always going to fuck it up.
Right, yeah.
So it's
I get that.
knowledge, but it's very dangerous knowledge because you can't fight fate. And even if you try to fight fate, you're going to stumble into destiny's
Yeah,
path.
and that's the whole, like, that's basically what Oedipus is about, too, right?
Yeah, Oedipus.
You can't get away from fate.
Yes. And there's this idea in Supernatural that even in the very beginnings of the show, like, yeah, Sam's been gifted with the ability to see the future. Mm-hmm. But it's not necessarily a good thing.
Right. Like in this episode, he goes to he wants to go to the house to prevent this woman from being hurt. Uh-huh. And they do the thing and they're like, okay, she's safe. Mm-hmm. But then it happens anyway.
But it kind of makes them complacent.
Right. Yeah.
So almost as if because of Sam's actions, the poltergeist had the advantage.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Which, I mean, they still saved the lives, and, like, who knows what would have happened if they hadn't interfered. Mm-hmm. But there's this idea that, you know, we don't really know what these visions are yet. We don't know why he has them. Mm-hmm. Nobody else in his family has, you know, the shine.
Yeah.
Which is a reference to Stephen King's The Shining.
Cool.
Shine on, you crazy diamond.
Mm-hmm,
oh, shit. Do they play that song?
No.
Oh, that'd be cool, though.
Mm-hmm.
There may be like one or two Pink Floyd songs that ever get played on this show.
Damn.
Yeah.
But the point is that, like,
Oh, sorry. That's fine.
It's fine.
This was a good episode. I agree with you guys. I really like this episode. It's a great palate cleanser after bugs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, God, it
Um,
was.
And I really like that we get to see that moment with the mom, because Mary Winchester plays a very small role in this show.
Yeah. Y'all are winking at each other.
I picked
Y'all are winking at each other a lot, like with both eyes. You're going like wink
That's just
wonk,
blinking.
wink. No, you're like wink wonk, wink wonk.
Wink wonk.
Yeah.
That's a wonkin' and a winkin'.
Yeah.
Hey.
That's
40 wonks.
that's when you go with like 1, 2, like wink wonk.
Do your eyelids make noise, Travis, when you're by yourself?
What do you mean when I'm
Wink
by?
wonk, wink wonk.
What are you talking about when I'm by myself? They're doing it right now. Wink wonk.
Sure, Travis, tell yourself
Yeah.
that, buddy.
They can't see us. They don't know. Wink wonk.
So, but what I wanted to get back to Mary Winchester is that, yeah, we mentioned earlier, like, to Dean, Mary is
The ultimate like mother figure.
the best mom.
Yeah.
Ever.
The
Best
perfect mom. Which is crazy because, you know...
Because Garnet exists from Steven Universe,
Yeah,
so the
that.
best mom has already been taken.
But when your mom dies, when you lose your mom at a young age, and the only memories you have of her is like, oh, she would make me pancakes when I wanted them.
Right, so of course you're going to
And-
think she's the best
Yeah,
mom
you're
of
gonna
all
think
time.
like she's amazing,
Yeah.
and she's dead, and you don't want to speak ill of that.
Right.
Dean has a very like fucked up relationship with his parents.
Yeah, because he's the
Both
oldest.
of them.
Yeah,
really
because one of them's dead and the other one's
missing.
missing.
And John Winchester.
And,
Hey.
refuses to talk to them.
Yeah. Why do you think the reason? I mean, we kind of went into it earlier, where
Yeah.
like something's physically stopping him, but let's say that's not the reason why.
Okay, if that's not the reason,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just John is driving himself crazy because he blames himself for the death of his wife. And he can't stand to look at his children anymore because he knows he fucked them up.
You know what? That is a good answer.
Oh,
that
yeah?
is a very good answer.
Yeah.
Cool. I did
get-
something right.
I'll give you bonus credit for that answer.
Awesome.
Yeah. For all the times you said casino last week.
I don't think you're right.
No?
No.
I don't think you're right, but that is a very good answer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, if it's not like a literal spirit or something or a demon keeping him from them, then it's probably that.
Do you have a secondary thought of what it could be?
No, that was my secondary thought.
Do you have a tertiary thought?
I think Travis is used to people being like, good. And has
You know
hope
what?
for this world.
Yeah.
And we are cynical and
Okay.
sad.
Yeah. So we didn't leave
Tertiary
the house today. Yeah. That's,
tertiary thought.
You left your house.
John, yeah.
I didn't leave your house though.
Yeah, you're right. John Winchester secretly has an army of giant robots for children to get in. And
Oh my god, is he already Jindo Akari levels of bad father to you, Travis?
no.
Okay. Nobody is Jindo Akari levels of bad dad.
Yeah.
John, even though I know everything that happens with this character pretty much, I'm still not like John Winchester is Jindo Akari levels of terrible.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
So, do we have any more questions, comments, concerns, notes?
Oh, reference to something. Missouri mentions, this is going to be important for later, Travis. Missouri mentions that the house had been fine until recently.
Okay.
And she says it's like something's starting. There's all this new supernatural activity. A wink. A wink. So, yeah, we've got a lot of things set up in this episode.
So it's almost as if John Winchester's going missing was the beginning of a big chain of dominoes falling over.
Not just John Winchester going missing.
No, but Sam getting back. And Dean being Dean.
It was Franz Ferdinand getting shot.
Oh,
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's going to be, we've set a lot of things up in this episode. Like the fact that, Sam's still getting these visions. And right now they seem to be tied to him, right?
Right.
It's his girlfriend. It's his childhood home. I mean, 6-month childhood home, but you get the point.
But yeah, still.
Yeah, so...
Sounds like you're going to say the road is his childhood home. I mean, you could. If
I'm
you're
not that
Winchester.
poetic.
Hey.
They should have sent a poet.
But yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So, final thoughts, questions, concerns?
I don't know. Travis, you got anything?
I feel like making a cake.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's make a cake.
Let's make a cake.
Let's.
What's the name of the next episode?
That is what I am looking up.
Oh,
So we can ask Travis
Yeah.
what do you think it's gonna be?
what
Well,
he thinks is going to happen.
Well, okay, so the way this usually works is the episode ends, and then the way Netflix works is there's the
We get like a still.
there's the next episode and a still, and then the the 1 sentence synopsis. And I didn't read the 1 sentence synopsis earlier.
I'll read it for
Good.
you.
Okay.
Asylum.
Asylum.
What do you think it's about?
So Sam and Dean go to Germany, and they go to a hospital in Germany where it turns out the body of Sigmund Freud is actually under that hospital, and he's haunting it, and so they need to dig under the hospital, only to find out that Sigmund Freud was a yak the whole time.
Yes. They're the fucking yes. Yak yucks.
Yes, yak yucks.
Oh, damn. All right.
Credit to Narado Moore.
Yeah.
Thank you, Narado.
Speaking of which, if you ever hear this and you want to be on the show, fucking message one of those motherfuckers.
Yeah, we'll message you.
Yeah.
Or
Don't call us.
Yeah, don't call us. We'll call you.
Well, I don't know if that's going to happen, Travis, but if it does, we'll talk about it next week.
We'll talk about it next week.
Thank you guys so much for listening to Hey Assbutt. You can find us at Instagram and Twitter at Habcast.
Habcast, Habcast.
You can find my personal Instagram and Twitter at Ari the Spy.
Ari the Spy.
You can find me, Ben Teichmiller, at Mr. Fluffy Bunnies.
Mr. Fluffy Bunnies.
On Twitter and Instagram.
And you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Actually Tall.
Thanks for listening.
Yeah.
And until next time.
Have fun and don't die.
Oh, that's so nice. Yeah, you could be an anthropomorphic horse.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the goal, honestly.
Fun fact.
It's not Michael.
The ace guy on BoJack, voiced by Aaron Paul.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I don't know
Of Big Bang Theory fame.
No.
No.
Yes.
No.
No, I'm pretty sure he played a drug dealer on that show.
On the.
Have we started yet?